The new date Congress and the administration have their eyes on for passing the stimulus package. Also, Joe Manchin is open for negotiations and their plan to proceed. Also, a new bill recently introduced by progressive Democrats. And lastly, a 40-page document recently released by the Federal Reserve and what they want to do to our money. All of that to be discussed in this video, so let's get into it right now. But if you haven't done so, or if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of this information that continues changing very rapidly, and it's all going to impact us in some way, shape, or form, and you need to know what's going on out there. Just like I say in so many of my videos, anytime something comes up that we can take advantage of, I want to make sure that we get on it immediately, and I want you to know about it right away. So that's why you got to make sure you're subscribed by hitting that button right down below so you don't miss any videos going forward, as there's a lot of things changing right now. Thank you so much. Let's get right into this. And one quick side note, my wife Corey will be back here in just a couple minutes with the new updated list of shoutouts for those names that are pulled right out of this community. So stay tuned for that, and that list is changing in every single video. All right, let's get right into it, as we have a lot to talk about right here in this video. All right, so let's quickly talk about this new bill that was recently introduced by progressive Democrats. Maybe you heard about this. This is kind of interesting, but this was recently introduced. They want to legally change the work week from a 40-hour full-time work week down to 32 hours. They want to change it down to a 4-day work week. Have you seen this? Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see what all of you think in this community, because I know that a lot of you here worked probably throughout your entire career 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, right? That was the standard. Still is the standard right now, right? Generally, most people work that 40 hours 5 days a week, but they want to change that down to 4 days a week and 32 hours being technically full-time. Now, here's the thing. In some companies, some industries, 32 hours is technically full-time, but generally 40 hours is full-time, right? So why do they want to do this? What would be the purpose behind this? The whole purpose behind it would be that employers would be forced to actually pay higher and more overtime pay, because anything over 32 hours would technically be overtime. And for a lot of businesses, by the way, that is time and a half, sometimes even double time when it comes to overtime. So it would give people almost a guaranteed 8 hours of overtime, which would ultimately boost their pay significantly, right? So anyway, let me know what you think down below. Kind of interesting thought. I know that there's been talk about this previously. Actually, in European countries, they're trying this in some European countries right now, a 4-day work week. So just kind of curious what you have to say about that. I'd love to hear your comments down below if you're interested in sharing. Also, let's quickly talk about what this new 40-page document released out of the Federal Reserve on Thursday is actually meaning for all of us and our money. Kind of interesting. Again, no surprise here. We've been talking about this for about a year and a half now, and again, not surprised one bit. So on Thursday, the Federal Reserve released a 40-page document outlining what it would look like to turn the green dollars that we carry around in our pockets, our wallets, and our purses into, yes, digital dollars. So the green stuff that we carry around would be no longer a thing. It would be just a souvenir that we could show our grandkids or, whoever. But yeah, the green stuff would ultimately disappear. Now, they did not commit to a digital dollar yet, otherwise known as CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. That's what it's called, but otherwise a digital dollar. In other words, all the green stuff would be gone and it would all be digital. So I know that we already live in pretty much a digital economy right now, as in a lot of times when we go to buy, goods or services at the store, we whip out our debit card, we whip out our credit card, we whip out our Direct Express card, something like that, and that's essentially digital, right? There's not much cash that trades hands anymore, but again, there is some, right? We still have the green stuff, but the replacement of a green dollar, as in physical money, with a digital dollar would literally be the elimination of all green dollars, right? The paper stuff we carry around, it would just be completely eliminated. Anyway, they released this 40-page document basically laying out the benefits and the risks of transitioning into a digital dollar. So I don't know, kind of interesting. Again, I'd love to hear your comments on this to see what you have to think about this. What would you think if we turned completely digital? Now, what they're actually doing going forward is they're gathering feedback from the public right now. So if you're interested in sharing your feedback on that, again, you could probably do just a simple internet search, type in something like Federal Reserve, CBDC, or digital dollar, and you can probably give your feedback. They have a forum there, and they are welcoming the feedback from the public right now. One thing that I can see a lot of kickback on, and I've read through some of the comments on this, like, public forums, things like this. A lot of people are saying, great, just what I want, to be tracked with every transaction. And that's exactly what would happen, because it'd all be digital, just like a credit card or anything like that. Debit card, it's all tracked, like right down to the penny. The second that you swipe that card, it is tracked, right? You know what I mean? So a lot of people are saying, I don't love that. I like to have my my privacy every so often. If I want to go to the gas station and fill up with cash, that's my privacy, I don't want anybody else tracking that stuff, you know what I mean? So anyway, kind of curious what you have to say about that. If you're interested in sharing, again, I'd love to read it. If not, that's totally cool too. No problem at all. All right, so let's quickly talk about the stimulus package and where we currently stand with this, as well as this new date that has been thrown out by the administration as well as Congress, in which they want to have the stimulus package passed. Now again, how many dates have we seen thrown around, right? Let's be real. Pretty much every date that lands on the calendar has almost been mentioned as a date or a timeline or a line in the sand in which this is the day we're going to get it done. And then sure enough, the day comes, the day goes, life goes on, and nothing gets done with the stimulus package, right? We've seen this so many times, it's almost like a big joke right now, right? Because we've seen it come out so many times where they give us a date and then nothing ever happens by then. However, they do have a date now, and again, they're now calling this a soft date. In other words, if we miss the deadline, oh well, I guess it's just a soft date. So it's not like a hard line. Previously they've drawn hard lines like, we're not going beyond this date, and then they blow right past it. Have you seen that? I mean, if you've been watching the videos for a while now, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because we've talked about this previously in other videos and other packages and deadlines, things like this. A hard line in the sand, and then sure enough, we walk right on by the line. So, I don't know. It's kind of funny. But anyway, funny in that sense that's like not really funny, but, funny kind of not funny. You know what I mean. All right, anyway. So the administration and Congress has actually laid out this new timeline, and then we can talk about Joe Manchin and his willingness to start negotiating on the stimulus package once again. All right, so the new line in the sand is March 1st. Why? Why March 1st? Well, a couple weeks ago, maybe it was about a week and a half ago or so, Nancy Pelosi actually invited President Biden to do the State of the Union address on March 1st. So they're kind of drawing this line on the sand and saying March 1st would be certainly a very good day to get this done, because if the president can come and speak about that for the State of the Union, of course, that sure would be pretty good, right? But again, if they miss the deadline, according to what everybody's saying about this, they said they can miss the deadline, but only by a little bit. If they miss it by a lot, it's not going to look good at all. Not only that, March 1st, we're getting very, very close to that election cycle, as in for the midterm elections that are coming up here in a few months, in November. Again, it's coming fast. We're almost all the way through January already. Can you believe it? I mean, seriously, I feel like it was just New Year's Day a few days ago, and we're almost in February already. I mean, seriously, where is it going? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's like the days go by so fast. Everything goes by so fast. So my point is, November and the midterm elections are going to be here soon, but coming before that is the election cycle. And everybody once again is saying, hey, if we put this line in the sand on March 1st, we're going to be pushing pretty close to that election cycle, and we've got to get something done before then so that we can hit the campaign trail, we can start talking about this, and we can start toting all of the accomplishments that Democrats have made so far. Well, what have they done so far? And again, I do not take sides in my videos. I hope you recognize that. I'm simply giving you the information that is coming out right now. Democrats even themselves have recognized, hey guys, warning, we've got to do something here. We've got the elections coming up. We're risking to lose multiple seats throughout the Senate and the House of Representatives. We've got to get something done. So even President Biden the other day in the press briefing that he had, well, it wasn't really a briefing. It was more like a press conference because it was almost 2 hours long. He even admitted right there in that conference that they need to start breaking up this bill and chunking it down. So break it up in chunks, just like we've heard about so many times now. So anyway, long story short, the new line in the sand is March 1st because of the State of the Union address that the president will be making. So they're saying this is the new line, in which is a soft line, but if they miss it, it can't be missed by much. Only a couple days is what they're saying. So again, the idea is to get this done before then. Now again, between now and then, there's going to be a lot going on. In fact, that new stimulus package that was just talked about maybe 2.5 weeks ago or so, the first introduction of this one, Nancy Pelosi has talked about on 2 separate occasions that they want to wrap into the next federal budget that is due by February 18th, on or before that date, but no later than that. Otherwise, we'd be going into a government shutdown, because that is the date in which the current funding bill is already through. So this is the one that they passed a couple months ago to keep it funded through February 18th. So Nancy Pelosi has indicated they're going to probably tie it to that one, which, by the way, is a $1.4 trillion funding bill to get them through the end of September, which is the end of the fiscal year. So again, I'll keep you posted on that. Next, let's quickly talk about Joe Manchin, and then we can wrap this up. So Joe Manchin, as we know, we all know who he is, right? Some of you here in the community think that he's a hero. Some of you in the community can't stand him. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm just simply telling you what I'm seeing in the comments section. I'm not taking sides with this. I'm just simply telling you what's going on right now. He is open to negotiations on these stimulus packages. He's also thinking that we should start over, start fresh from scratch, literally take a blank piece of paper and start completely over with the Build Back Better. At the same time, they want to work through the negotiations and figure out what is actually top priority. What are the things that need to be done right now, rather than all of the extra spending with the $2 trillion in these packages. Joe Manchin is looking at it as in what needs to be done right now. What are the things that we can all come together on relatively quickly? What can we get done right now? What is reasonable? And we can come back later and always get more passed, as the president indicated just the other day. So again, Joe Manchin wants to completely start over when it comes to the Build Back Better agenda, and also as indicated by Nancy Pelosi and other lawmakers, they're likely going to need to rebrand this entire bill, give it a brand new name. Even one lawmaker said the other day, I don't care if we call it the Joe Manchin bill. We just got to get something done. So maybe it'll be called the Joe Manchin bill. Honestly, we have no clue. Or maybe it's the Manchin Act. I don't know. That kind of has a little ring, doesn't it? The Manchin Act. I don't know. It sounds, I don't know. I'm not sure if that sounds like a good one or not, but I'm just saying. I just made that up. So my point is, Joe Manchin and the Democrats and the administration will be talking through this. Now, one more thing. They also did mention, too, they're probably going to continue with these negotiations out of the public eye and have these negotiations behind closed doors in private with Joe Manchin, because, we've seen how these negotiations go when they're out in the public eye. So again, I'm sure that we'll get updates along the way as we go, but maybe the updates will be a little bit more, a little bit more shielded from the public, simply because, whatever they're negotiating, obviously they want to make sure that it is written in stone or essentially agreed upon by everybody in Congress, that they can get it through before they all of a sudden come out and tell us all these things that they promised to us and then once again can't deliver. How many times have we been seeing that through over the last 2 years, right? They come out with all these proposals and everything else. They promise the world, and then at the end of the day, they give us nothing, not even a lump of coal, right? So yeah, my point is, maybe they'll actually be a little bit more strategic about this, but this is what we know as of now. So with that being said, that's my update for right now. I wanted to come back, give you a few more things that I found for you, and we got to watch everything closely. As you can see here, we got the Fed on one hand, changing our money into digital nothings. On the other hand, we got progressives that want to shave down the work week down to 32 hours. Could you imagine what that was like? I know that a lot of you here in the community, seniors, Social Security beneficiaries, just imagine, I know that a lot of you here worked, years, 30, 35, 40 years, and now you're receiving Social Security, whatever. And I know that a lot of you here in the community worked a long time, right? Many, many years, 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. I don't know. I feel like the whole 32 hours things, 32 hours for a full-time week, I feel like, again, this is just my opinion, and I'm not saying it's against progressives. I do think progressives have some ideas, but at the same time, I almost feel like the 32-hour-a-week thing is almost an insult for the people who put in 40 hours for 30 years. I don't know. Again, that's just my opinion. I just feel like, for all the people who worked 5 days a week, 40 hours, I don't know. I feel like it's maybe kind of a little slap in the face. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm just saying, because, you take pride in the time that you put in. You put in a huge percentage of your life working, getting the money, earning whatever you did, and earning those Social Security benefits that you're relying on right now. And now to be like, I could have earned 8 hours of overtime every single week. That sure would have been nice. It would have really dramatically raised your income. Just imagine that. 8 hours of overtime every single week for, say, 50 weeks out of the year. That adds up fast, right? Time and a half, double time, something like that. Wow, that would add up really fast. If you're earning $15 an hour, even time and a half would be $22.50 an hour. That's pretty nice. I mean, seriously, that boosted up fast right there, right? So anyway, with that being said, let's bring Corey in here. Again, I'd love to hear your feedback down below. If you're not interested in sharing your feedback, that's totally fine. No problem at all. I completely respect that. But if you would like to share it, I'd love to see what you have to say about the digital dollar and the 32-hour full-time work week, or 4-day work week, I should say, whatever it happens to be out. All right, anyway, so let's bring Corey in for the shout-outs in this video. Remember, those names are pulled right out of the fan club, and the fan club can be looked at or joined, whatever you want to do. If you're interested in checking it out, there's a link down below in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comment section, I'll also pin a comment there for you to check out with that link. But again, check it out if you're interested. If not, that's totally fine too. No problem. All the videos here on the channel are 100% free, always have been and always will be, as that is my favorite price. And we always love sharing our favorite price with everybody here in the community, right? So anyway, subscribe down below, share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,000 videos right here on the channel. So feel free to do that. And again, Corey, take it away and read that new list of shoutouts in this video. And remember, this list will be updating every single video, and we're making a little change starting tomorrow on the shoutouts. So if you're watching still, you will be the first to know about these new little changes that are coming with the shoutouts starting right away tomorrow. So enjoy your day. I'll catch you again later in the next one. Corey, take it away. I'll see you soon.
Today we are shouting out Tara Hall, Mimi Berghan, Yvonne Ross, Deborah Cruz, Arturo Martinez, M. Thayer, and Kim Hall. Thank you for being members of the fan club.